Okay, this is the Monto Sensors here with another video. Sorry I haven't been doing videos, I just haven't been uploading in my political videos in such a long time, and I've been kind of holding this one off. It's going to be a remaster of my thoughts on the LGBTQ community as a whole, and a lot of the political, I guess, discord that has been happening lately, especially recently. If maybe if you look at the news, like the all age drag shows in this concerning Pride Month, I thought I do a remastered of it, and my pretty much overall thoughts of the movement, more so on the trans side of things. We'll get to that, and I'm sure people are going to call me a transphobe, homophobe, or whatever, phobe, insert here. I don't think I am one, but these are controversial topics. I'm going to assert what I believe and I think are a fact. And I know some people are going to get offended, so I guess this is the warning of getting offended warning. So I actually don't care if you're gay or trans. I don't think there should be laws that could get you fired for these things. I think they should be protected. They are now, but they not always were. They could fire you if you're gay, and they could fire you if you were trans. I mean, most states are at will employment, so it doesn't really matter. They could just fire you because they don't like the way you look, and it'd be perfectly legal. So yeah. So if they're going to fire you, they're going to fire you for whatever reason they come up with. So those protected acts don't really do much, but at least they're there now. And the drag shows, I really don't care about either. Honestly, I know Tennessee got overturned. They actually said, yeah, this is unconstitutional. You can't ban drag events if they're in public, let's say a library. If that library agrees on the terms of what they're doing, story time with drag or whatever they want to do, I guess that's fine. I'm not saying I agree with it. I think that's weird. I know a lot of people on left and right are like, "Oh, they're grooming, they're pedophiles." They're just reading a story. I get the argument of parents should talk to their kids about these kind of things, like trans issues and also the gay issues, I guess. About not everyone's going to be straight, not everyone's going to be conforming to their gender. I think that should be left up to the parent, not the school. Now, if that's within a sex ed class, then I understand that. That's supposed to be covered in a sex ed class. Now, I don't think it should be allowed in school. I shouldn't be able to put up a pride sign or a pride flag or put up the LGBTQ pride, not pride, excuse me, the flag of the LGBTQ. I shouldn't be put that up. If you allow that, you should be allowed, the Confederate flag. You can't say, well, the Confederate flag is not allowed, but this LGBTQ flag is allowed. If you allow one, you have to allow all of them. So I think that should be eliminated. When I was growing up, I didn't know my teachers' political affiliations, whether or not they're gay, whether or not they're trans. I mean, trans is kind of wasn't really. It probably was present, and I just didn't know about it. But it was less known, extremely less known. It's more like the past 5, maybe 10 years, where it's really heated up and somehow become a political issue. You can blame the politicians for that on both sides, just not the left side, but the right side. So I pretty much got the whole gay community out of the picture, because I really don't care what you're doing as long as it's not illegal. You're not hurting anybody. You want to do your gay pie parades, and if it's commissioned and you have permission, whatever it is, I really don't care. Do what you want to do. It's a free country. But don't get mad at people if they don't like it or don't approve of it. It seems like it's kind of you have to approve of it or you're a homophobe. That's not the issue. Like, there should be some kind of leeway one way or another. Like, I don't have to approve of it to, not care what you're doing. Like, I can disapprove of it and not like, yeah, I don't agree with that, but it's a free country. Like, what am I going to do about it? I wouldn't, just like if right wingers want, like the Proud Boys, which they treat as like this boogeyman. If they want to march with their freaking hoods down the fucking street and they have permission to do that, and say white is right or whatever, I don't know what they say. If they say that, I don't know. Well, whatever they fucking do, they're allowed to do that. I don't approve of it. I would never endorse that, but that's their right to do it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean they can't do it. That's pretty much my position on the whole thing with that. Now, when it really gets to, I guess, the bigger issue is with the trans issues, or it seems like that's what it seems like. The more focused on legislation is on, mostly with trans athletes, especially now. Now, I've done a previous video on this topic, but I'll touch up on it anyways, just to catch up on what my beliefs are and see how they change. I do believe they should have a separate, I guess, league, or they should have, men's sports, women's sports, and trans sports. I know it'd be difficult to get a trans league in anything because the population is just so low. So getting any kind of funding or events for them would be extremely difficult. But let's put that aside just for a second. Okay. Now, there's a lot of beliefs that they don't have any advantages, but we see time and time again, especially in the college level or like high school, more high school than college level, but I've heard some college level as well of stories that these trans athletes or that blow like the freaking women's records, completely obliterate them. And there is some fear, I wouldn't say fear, but some concern that all of the, I guess, trans female athletes will have the titles, and there won't be a cis women or a cis woman, which was the original intent of the title. I think it's Title 9. If I probably fucked that up, of fair sportsmanship. That if a men's sports have a sports, then women should have a sports too, and they separated it because how much of a physical advantage most males have, if not all males have, with physical sports. Even non-physical sports are pretty much dominated by males, like chess, esports, even a lot more competitive, I guess, drive than a cis woman or a trans woman. And there is some concern there that even it might come to like a more professional level, which hasn't really yet, but I can definitely see the concern there, where the trans women will have all the records and they're biologically male. It seems like they are encroaching on the rights of the cis women, and there's a lot of people that are speaking out, like Riley Gaines, and like they're taking spots from cis women. I say cis women because if I say real women, I'm going to get in fucking trouble. Just bottom line. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. Without stepping on too many toes, I guess. That's going to piss off some people, but that's what it is. I'm trying to be as fair and unbiased as possible. That's pretty much how that goes. So we have that issue, and there's definitely a concern there. I can actually see it. While I don't think it should go to, I guess, more of a legislation issue, I don't see why it should go that far. I think they should have separate events. That would pretty much solve all the issues right there. Boom. Male category, female category, trans category. I don't think that's going to happen. It just seems like that seems completely out of the options of trying to solve it. I don't know why that's not a freaking, at least a option, but that doesn't seem like a very likely solution to the problem, even though that'd be the probably simplest one. But now people are really, I guess, angry that they might take over these sports. Yeah, you can argue that hasn't happened. There's no clear advantages or disadvantages. But at the end of the day, biological males do have a lot of set advantages. Now, I remember in my previous video I said there's no that a cis male that transitions into a cis female that transitions into male and goes into male sports and dominates. There's that one wrestler that I made a mistake on. I think that was the only person to ever do that. I might be mistaken on that, but that's the more famous one, I guess. But that's not atypical. That's pretty much like a one-time deal. That could be more often, but it hasn't been really known yet. So that might be an outlier of the situation. So there's a lot of debate and a lot of vitriol. I'm not gonna lie on both sides of this issue of where the trans athletes should be doing, and a lot of states are making laws against it or for it. Now, here's my personal opinion. I think it is fact that there are only two genders. I know that can be viewed as hate speech. I really don't think that's hate speech. To say there's only two genders, I don't think that is being a bigot. I don't think that is being a phobe. And I know a lot of medical associations that would agree with that. There's also a lot of medical associations that would disagree with that. I'm not trying to use like this authoritative thing to assert my beliefs on anybody. Like they say, believe in science, but they don't want to believe in male and female. Maybe that's an outlier of that end of the spectrum where you have to accept it and there has to be laws against it. You can't say there are only two genders, you should be charged for that, or you're a bigot, or you're a phobe. Like, that shouldn't be forced speech. Now, that could be like the outlier of like the news or the right side of the politics. Like, I don't want to say propaganda, but like they put out there as like they want this and it should be against the law if you deviate and say that that's not true, or you don't prescribe to that certain those beliefs. Like, for instance, like I believe in male and female, that's it. That would be against the law to say, or that'd be hate speech. There should be laws against that. And I disagree with that. No, I don't think I'm a phobe for saying that. I don't think I'm a phobe for saying there's male and female. Binary. That's it. So when it really comes down to it, it doesn't matter what I say. But this is what I personally believe in these and do prescribe them as fact. Some of it. Not all of it. Mostly is opinion based. So these are the topics that are really into are, I guess, more out there than anything. Um, so an overview of things is like I really don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you do gay pride, trans pride, whatever pride you want to go. You want to do white pride. I don't give a shit. Like that's I'm probably gonna be called racist for that, but I don't really care. Like those are allowed. Like you are. That's a constitutional right to assemble peacefully, regardless if I don't like it, hate it, whatever the situation is. As long as you have a permit for that, some states, depending on how many people you have with you, you have to have permits, and if that's allowed, so be it. I don't care what side you want your Antifa protest, go ahead. You want your KKK freaking protest, go for it. Like that doesn't matter to me. Long as it's peacefully assemble, not breaking any laws, anything goes with that. That's as far as I'm concerned. Just because I don't like it doesn't matter if I approve of it. I'm not trying to hold some weird moral high ground in any of that. It's just like it's fair game, as long as it's legal, as long as you're not hurting anybody, like physically. I know that emotional is completely different from that, but I'm not like a you know free speech like 100% into that. I think yeah, some speech is obviously not allowed, like threats. You can't threat the president or a senator or anything like that. I'm not an absolutionist. Like, well, you can just say whatever you want and there's no consequences. No, 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 no. No, I'm not that. I'm not an absolutionist. But I do believe in the free speech and non-hate speech laws, like there's only two genders. I don't think that should be against the law. I don't think it should be forced speech. Of course, these could be the outliers of what the right presents. I'm not saying like all the trans community is like that, obviously. So, and I did touch on trans athletes. I think they should have their own events, and it should be male, female, trans. And then I believe in a binary, or I do prescribe that is in a fact. Now, if you want me call me a transphobe for saying that, that's fine. Think I'm spreading hate speech, I guess that's fine too. You're welcome to these opinions. I think those are opinions. So like I pretty much said where I stand, what I think about the community as a whole. I think there are outliers to this community that makes them look bad. Just like any community, there's always going to be those people that make the community look bad. Kind of like the Hogwarts kind of incident with the trans issues. So it didn't make them look too good. And if you want allies to your side, that's not the way to handle things. Like if you want people to support you and get behind the issues that you think that need to be supported, this is not the way to act. Like that's bad. Or trying to force it onto people is not the way to get people on your side. I've seen a lot of articles that seem to want to force this idea onto people. It's not like it depends where you get your news from. Of course, that is a big fucking huge. I think a lot of news stations kind of like put that divide into people. The media is pretty freaking extremely powerful when it comes to the sides of these kind of issues, and it can like manipulate, I guess, in a lot of ways of what people believe in one way or another. I think that's a huge issue that it should be more unbiased when reporting these kind of things, but it's not like that anymore, unfortunately. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the whole issue. Hopefully, I don't get accused of a transphobe or homophobe or I'm hateful or anything like this. That's pretty much where I stand about the whole thing. Thank you for listening, rate, comment, subscribe.